In this episode, we're considering the teachings that we had in interior one-point perspective. We want to check out a couple of different angles of this perspective together. When we are designing in perspective, we always learned to design the end and the back area of a design. Something like this, and in the end, we would add a figure and we would connect the lines to the vanishing point. Then we had our space. Now, instead of the back area like this, we would design a plan. For example, we have a plan like this. We have a window here that goes inside. These are the windows profile and the windows structure. Send it here. And there is a door on the left side, a little opening. We have an area like this. We enter the room. And then next to it, we have a space like this for our terrace. And the window like this, a little terrace in front of it, comes down from here and we close it like that. And here we are supposed to place a bed. Like this. And next to it, we are supposed to place a table. We're designing a general shape of a plan. And let's imagine this is a very special and a specific angle. It's not an angle that you use in your daily life or normally. It's like a plan that we're looking at upside down. And this is for a time that we're looking at the plan without any ceiling. Send the lines to the vanishing point. Window is a structure. If the height of the window is small, we need to close it there. And when you're working with this type of perspective, be at ease and try to rotate your page so you get the lines correctly. So I have my door like this. Inside, everything happens vertically and horizontally and in line with the vanishing point. Here again, send it to the vanishing point. And this corner as well. The other side. Rotate it, and now this side. And from this side to here, we have this. First, add a ceiling. And now that we have the ceiling, we can add the structure of the window. And after that, we can add a little parapet for our terrace. So, like that, we just created a terrace. Now, let's move to the rest of the details. So, we have our main plan just like that. Now, let's move to our bed. We can give it depth by sending it upwards. This table here like that. And the bed can happen like this here. We could do the opposite as well. Now let's move our pillows and our blanket a little higher. And they are happening like this. Now let's place a carpet underneath our bed. And thankfully it's behind our bed, so it's not visible that much. I don't have to give it depth or anything. You just need to give a little texture on the top of it to separate the surfaces from the bed. So this is a rock that we have here, like that. We can add a painting on top of our console. I want to add a couple of paintings on the wall as well. So here, like the previous perspectives, everything is happening vertically and horizontally, with the difference that some of the lines are going to the vanishing point. But the lines that are going to the vanishing point is a little bit different than the perspective before. As you can see, I'm placing a couple of paintings on the wall. Like this. And if you want to add some scene or the texture or something on it, you can do it as well. On top of the bed here, we can place something as well, like a lamp. Standing lamp should be fine. So we have this like that. And now let's add a little flooring to separate the surface of the floor with the rest of the area. So very simple, and just like that, we could create floor tiles by adding a couple of lines, completely vertical and horizontal. This angle is among very special angles, which personally I use this a lot. And there are not many people that use this angle very much. But in general, it's a very satisfying and very beautiful angle, which gives you a different shape and different understanding of the area that you want to show. We can add more details inside our room, but as you can see here, we just create a very special angle. In order to see this room, let's add a little highlight on the floor and maybe a bit of color on the walls as well, to show what is happening inside this area. And look how good we are able to show this space. Couple of lines here and there for shadow and reflection should be fine. And as you can see, we just created a very different angle, which previously we didn't experience this. And when we are designing something like this, we could design any type of plan. It could be curved, it could be made out of broken lines, it could be made out of rectangle, triangle, any shape that you like. For example, we have a place like this inside our area. We divide it to get our structure. send it back. You have the space like this, and we can create a space with a couple of columns inside it. We can see the continuation of the space, send it here, but we won't be able to see it after all. Now, let's place our vanishing point. Anywhere that we want can be a vanishing point. Now send the lines and the corners to the vanishing point. If this place is a window with a limited height, we need to show it, which means we need to design this curved line again a little higher, like this. So when we draw the lines, we don't go any further than that, and we start drawing lines in line with the vanishing point. And we'll add the windows profile one by one like this. If you have a terrace outside, we can show it like this as well. Look how interesting it can become by adding small details like this. And you can add even more details. Now let's go back inside to add the lines for the bottom part. Here. Let's add the columns. And for this part, we can close the ceiling like that as well. So this is the end of our ceiling. So our lines shouldn't go any further than that. Like this here as well. And as you can see, our columns are happening like that. Now let's add our floor tiles. If we have any details inside this area, we can add it as well. Maybe something in our terrace. We can send it here, send this part upwards as well. If you have a door, we can show it like this, an opening. It goes inside horizontally and we close it vertically, like this. And maybe we can see the hallway and the walkway behind it. On the other side, same thing can happen as well. First we draw the door frame like that. Give them a little thickness. Send it aside. And here we can see the walkway behind it as well. Here they get closed. And in this type of sketching, it's really good to add some hatching as well. And I prefer it to be with a lot of hatching and with a lot of details. So I wouldn't mind to do some hatchings here and there. And as we're adding these hatchings, you can see the columns much better. And the wall behind it as well. Now let's add the floor tile one by one. Let's show the structure at the bottom of this window. Now let's add the floor tiles for the truss outside. It could be different from the flooring inside, but it could be the same as well. It's your decision to make. So just like this we are showing, the floor tile like that. It's very interesting. We can add some flower pot next to this as well. These lines can go upwards in the line with the vanishing point, of course. We can have a little shadow that is being cast from outside as well. Shadow here as well. Here, same thing. Some hatching next to the wall as well. Like that. On the other side, same thing. And as you can see, something interesting is happening inside our design. We could place a couple of furniture here as well. For example, this sofa or anything else. So we place it there, and now let's add furniture like that. We can use anything that we want, with any design that we want. So first we design the box, and as we've learned before, we can add the rest of the details. And as you can see, they created a very good angle here as well. It's better for us to rotate the angle and use it correctly, or we can use it like that. A little shadow behind it as well, and maybe a rectangle table in front of these chairs as well. Send the lines to the vanishing point. We can add the flower pot on top of it as well. And as you can see, this is a very special perspective with a very different angle, and we were able to do it with ease. And it wasn't super hard for us. By just following some rules, we were able to do it very easily. Let's add some highlight here in order to differentiate the surfaces, floor and walls. Even if you don't color it, as we added some hatchings, you can see exactly what is happening here. Usually in zoomed out perspective that are showing a lot of details inside them, you don't need to add a lot of colors. But in a zoomed in perspective, maybe you need to use more colors. So in a design like this, as we use less colors, details can be seen better. Now let's use a darker color to add some more highlight and more shadows. And as you can see, as we add these shadows, it becomes much more beautiful. And as you can see, we're casting shadows on both sides. And in some areas on the wall, we can cast shadows as well. And the door frame with a little color can be seen better as well. And as you can see, with a very simple technique, we were able to create a very different perspective. These angles could be very interesting. And as you can see, we were able to design two perspectives that we were looking downwards. Now, as for the next thing that can happen, we can design exactly the opposite of what happened here. Instead of looking downwards, we can look upwards. This is for the times that you want to show what is happening on our ceiling. So instead of looking downwards, we are doing exactly the opposite. So we are showing the details of our ceiling. So we have an area like this, send it downwards, a whole way this way, and we can have a window here as well. And we were standing in the middle, but this time we are looking upwards. The line behind this one can't be seen. So as we said, we are looking at the ceiling. Now let's see what details can we add here. So we can see what is happening on the ceiling. For example, if a part of the ceiling is going inside or anything else is happening to it, we can show it inside our perspective. For example, this area is going inside, and from this side, a couple of lines are coming downwards. Here as well, and then they are turned to our lighting. So we can see the bottom of our lighting, like this. Again, here we can see the bottom of the lighting as well. And as you can see, the angle is changing like this. So this could be a type of chandelier for us, and we can create similar stuff on the ceiling as well. Now let's add a window here. If the window frame, send the lines to your vanishing point and do the divisions like that. Now let's move to the next part. Let's add some hatch on this wall as well. Next to this window's frame, a little hatch as well. And here, maybe we can hang a painting next to the chandelier as well. And we can show a design on our painting as well. And don't be afraid to rotate your page as well. You can do it in order to have more straight lines. And if anything else is happening on this wall, we can add it as well. For example, a bookshelf could be nice. Send the lines upwards. Remember, in line with your vanishing point, divide it to 3 parts, and we separate the top of it and the middle like that. And we can give it depth like this. And now that we are dividing it like this and we are giving depth like this, we can add details inside it as well. They can be in line with the vanishing point. Here, same thing. If they are not all correct, it's fine. And to be honest, it's better for them not to be correct. All of them. If you have a flower pot or a small statue, we can add it as well. And here we can place a couple of books on top of each other. Again, a couple of more books. So pay attention to these details a lot. When you are doing interior design, you need to pay attention to the details inside a house a lot. Smallest details can be spotted in interior design. So when you're doing it, try to be focused to add correct details and trying to add different type of details. In order to get to the correct perspective and to be able to design something correctly. And here we are adding a little hatch underneath surfaces to show them better. We have it like this. We can place a windows here or another bookshelf. But I think if we place another window, it's better for us. Again, we place our windows frame and we add the rest of the details on it. And like this we have it. Now on the wall this side, let's see what can happen. It can be a very simple wall. Maybe the only details that we're using on this wall is just a couple of vertical painting. And just like that. So we don't want to make the design too crowded and too complicated. And the frame for our painting can be a lighting, or it can be an opening, like a door, a window, or anything else. We won't edit it any further. Now let's add the door frame here to have our walkway. So we have a little walkway before the door. And here we design our door frame. Send it inwards. And this is our walkway and the frame for our door. By adding a little hatching, we can complete this perspective and get the end result that we want. In order to add all of the details and show every little thing that is happening here. Now let's add some horizontal hatching here. We could do the same thing with marker as well, in order to show the design. And as you can see, as we add these paintings are showing themselves much better. In order to differentiate surfaces and show the design better, we can use colors as well. We add some hatchings in the hallway as well. Same thing on this wall that we placed a painting as well. Imagining a downside up design is a little difficult, but details that are upwards, you can show them here a lot better. And as we add these hatchings, the highlight can be seen much better. And we can separate the white areas and white surfaces from the surfaces that have some shadows on them. And as you can see, we are crossing these hatchings underneath our lightings. Now let's use marker and use CG number 1 to add some color to these areas. And as you can see, as we add highlight to the end of the area, and here it's underneath our ceiling, it gives a very good feeling of depth to our design. And the eye can understand what is happening much better. And outside we can show the ceiling as well. And again, we make it darker as well. And as we have that, here we add a little highlight so our paintings are showing themselves better. Same thing here as well. But as much as we move downwards, the hatchings and the highlights get lighter and lighter. And a little colors on the corner and maybe a bit on this painting as well, around our window. And as you can see, adding these highlights is showing the result already. I wouldn't mind to use a different material or maybe a very darker color inside our design as well. Or maybe a couple of light colors on our lighting as well. Or maybe on these paintings we have some lighting as well. In different angles, we can add a couple of colors to add a little warmth to our design. And we can use green color to show some trees outside. Look, like we can see a part of them. Well, there. Here, same thing. We can have all part of the tree that is visible from inside. Because we don't have our building in the middle of nowhere. So we need to add some details outside as well. And in the end, we can add some more hatchings to control what is happening in our design. And as you can see, we were able to design a very special angle. And we are looking upwards. I use this type of perspective and these angle to show very specific designs and special designs and things that I want to show that are happening on the ceiling. So for different areas and for different subjects, you can use different angles. And you can create something special. And by choosing the correct angle for designing, you can represent your work much better. In general, when you will be able to find the correct angle is when you master these different angles. Try to practice different angles more, so in the end, as much as you move forward, you will be able to choose the correct angle for your designs and for your perspectives.